he asks us to exhaust ourselves in purifying this type of blood to show you that this najasa is severe, مشددة أو مغلظة. Do we have to follow these 3 steps with the blood of menstruation? If a woman today had a blood in her underwear or in the sheet from the menstruation, do you need to, somebody would say, Sheikh, today we just dump it where? In the washing machine. Yes, it is sufficient. But if in a case you don't have a washing machine, she's traveling, she's in a hotel, she doesn't have a chain, and it comes in her sarwal, in her pants, and she needs to wear that, that will be the right way, which is al-qars. The Nabi ordered her to put her finger and she rub it with the water for the blood to be completely removed. But otherwise, the washing machine will take care of that. What's the ruling in regard to blood in general? And ulama rahimahullah said, we can classify the blood into 2 categories. The blood of human and blood of animals. Since we talk about bloods to you understand the rulings. The blood of the human, we can also classify to 2 categories. The first category, the blood of human, which comes in a form of, in a female, the blood of the menses, hayd, post-natal bleeding, nifas, okay? Or the blood that comes out of men and women from the urine place or from the anal. الدم اللي يخرج من الدبر أو القبل. Somebody urinate and blood comes with it. Comes with the feces. Let's say somebody bleed there. This type of blood, the ulama, all of them agree is najis. That comes, not somebody has a hernia or have like, what do you call that, hemorrhoid. They talk about something from inside the anal, which comes from where the feces comes, mixed with the feces. That's by consensus of the ulama as najis. And hemorrhoid also, but I'll tell you later on about that. So this is something that there is no different opinion. All the ulama from all the time, past and new, agree that this type of blood is najis. The other type of blood, which is other than this, cut yourself, stop bleeding from your gum, somebody stabbed you, Allah forbid. As if you're gonna think about it, if you get stabbed, somebody shot you or stabbed you. This blood, what's the rule of that blood?
Not najis.
Najis or not najis?
Not.
We just heard al-ulama in the past, all of them said najis. Al-madhahib al-arba'a, the Shafi'i, the Hanafi, the Maliki, the Hanbali, all of them said najis. The Hanbali made a very good distinguish, which is, I think everybody will agree. What the Hanbali said, قالوا, we differentiate between the blood that comes in a very small amount of blood. Like what? Nosebleed, gum bleed. You know, sometimes even here, you know, around your nails, you know, you might remove the skin and a little bit of blood comes. Your dry lips sometimes can bleed. Go to Colorado and try, or a hot place. Okay, it's basically dry weather. That's right. Sometimes your knuckle bleed from working. They said this small amount of blood is forgiven. There's no rule for it. Okay? We're talking about a blood that a cut, a bleed. Somebody does, you know, poke himself to check the diabetes, sugar. That's nothing. But we're talking about a cut where the blood start coming, and you know you need to close the wound or to basically stitch it, or it's a stabbing. He said this type of blood, no doubt, it is najis. And this is an ijma' huki. There is a consensus among the earliest scholars about that. In modern days, there is some scholars said no. Among them, Al-Shawkani rahimahullah, and Sheikh Al-Albani, and Sheikh Muhammad ibn Uthaymeen. They all said that it is not najis. And first of all, their opinion really goes against almost everybody in the past. Ask it from the beginning. Number two, Salah is 45? No, 45. No, today. Tomorrow? I have a good news for you. It's going to be today. Okay. So he said it is basically, it's not najis. Why? They said because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never explained to people that it is najis. But al-haqiqah, this is not true. Al-Quran said about the blood that it is najis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have said, أو دما مسفوحا. When you talk about the najasat, like the pigs and he mentioned the blood. So, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said about the blood of the woman, there is no difference. All the blood take the same ruling. The best thing that they have, those who said it's not najis, this is I think what made them excited about their opinion. They said there is many evidence where the Sahaba radiallahu anhum were injured in battles and they were bleeding and they were praying. And the best example is Umar was stabbed, وَكَانْ يَثْعُبْ دَمْ, pouring the blood coming, and he started praying. So that's our proof. But there's no proof of this at all. Why? Because al-fuqaha rahimahullah understood this and refuted that. They said that at that time, if somebody stabbed, they don't have stitches, they don't have the way that we have today. What they do, they try to put the thing together, tie it until it what? Close. So while it is doing this, the blood will continue what? Coming up. This is something you have no control over it. So this is exactly what we said 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was teaching you, I told you about something called salas al-bawl, when someone have no control over their urine, and sometimes after they finish, drop of urine keep coming. Nobody ever said, you know what, that the urine is not najis. Nobody ever said. We allowed them to pray with that because they are sick. It's a form of sickness and they be forgiven. And the same thing for those who are stabbed. It's like someone who's sick and cannot control that blood. That's why it's coming. What we gonna tell him? You're not praying? We're still gonna allow him to pray, even with this blood, because حكمه حكم المريض. He takes the ruling of the sick person and he's exempt from the ruling at that time. But not in any way, in any shape, in any form, in any how, that means that the blood is not najis. That makes no sense. I hope you get that. It makes no sense at all. Anyway, when it comes to the animals, we'll continue this next week, inshallah, because as we promised, tomorrow will be the 45. But when it comes to the blood of the animals, we'll talk about it. What's the ruling in regard to which one is considered najis, which one is not considered najis, and what the ulama rahimahullah said about that. Mosquito. You hit the mosquito and there is a blood in it. Would that be najis? Can you pray while you have it, that stain of blood on you? Or it has to be removed? You know? What about other than that? What about you went slaughter and you slaughter an animal in the Eid al-Adha and you have a stain of blood? What do? Can you pray with that clothes or you cannot? Okay? You hit a deer or balash deer. You hit something we don't eat. Huh?
Pig.
Coyote. And you go to risk the coyote, hold his neck and the blood gushing, you're just hypothetic. You went hunting. I went hunting that day for grizzly bear in Alaska. Maybe you will do that. And you shot the grizzly bear, and I didn't shoot grizzly bear. I'm not a very big fan of shooting animals for the purpose of sports. But anyway, so you shot the thing and the blood came on you. Can you pray? All these things we will talk about, inshallah. And we also will talk about Hadith Asma, because very attached to this. When she said, Ya Rasulullah, what if I wash it, but still the stain remain of the blood? And the Nabi told her, you can pray in it. Because that's another issue. A lot of people said, Sheikh, I wash my underwear, but there's a stain. Can still use that garment. And we'll see in Nabi Sallallahu, he said, yes, what that means and how this can apply to us, inshallah. So next week we'll continue our discussions of Allah khair.